Got a dopamine rush, got a major league crush when you're next to me. Got my heart upon my sleeve, can I hide the way I feel when you're next to me, girl?
Awake, 6:30, on our way to LAX. What do we have here? Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, you're filming?
I am filming.
Oh, okay.
If I could start the story from the end.
Here in Boston for a few hour layover. Everyone say hi.
Hello.
Hey. Hey. And we're going out to get some dinner. Boston clam chowder.
Oh, Maryland, where have you been? I've been looking for a place within all this carousel is spinning me.
After our conveniently located layover in Boston so we could see Alex for a few hours, my mom and I were on the plane to Reykjavik. So some background on this trip and how/why I went. Not that I need to explain why, I mean, it's Iceland, but you know. My dad was an airline pilot for many years, so I have flown for free, which goes without saying is an incredible privilege and is the main reason I've been able to travel around quite a bit. So for this trip, I actually did not take vacation days from my job. I found out I was gonna be on the beach, which is consulting talk for in-between projects. So when you're on the beach, you can still get beach work, you can still get tasks, but it is usually not anywhere near the same level of intensity as if you were on a real project. So when I found out I was gonna get a full week of beach time, my mom and I decided to take advantage and list ourselves on a flight to Iceland 24 hours before the flight took off. So we packed, had a short layover in Boston, and we're on our way to Iceland. There were actually tons of open seats on this flight, so we were lucky enough to get first class, again, all for free. So we were living our best lives on this flight. And if this mini Ben & Jerry's isn't the cutest thing I've ever seen, then I don't know what is. Plus, a personal favorite of mine, these little Lindor milk chocolate balls, I think they're delectable. Even though it was only a 5-hour flight from Boston, my mom and I still decided to get ourselves a Grey Goose each and get a little bit of sleep. Next stop, Reykjavik. We landed at about 8 in the morning and it was cold and gray and rainy and we had absolutely nothing planned besides this rental car and our hotel in Reykjavik. So without plans, we figured that it would be best just to head to the hotel and get settled in before heading out for the rest of the day to do something. And then on the side of the road, we saw the sign for the Blue Lagoon. Did you make a reservation? Absolutely not, because we planned this trip yesterday. Is it raining? Yes. Is it my favorite thing in the world to jacuzzi in the rain? Also yes. So let's hope this works out. And before you know it, I didn't plan on being there, so I ended up last minute buying one of those waterproof phone case thingies they had for sale so I could get some videos. And one of my favorite parts about this place was
You don't even have to get out of the water to get your drink.
we ended up staying for just about 4 hours, just enjoying this incredible, massive, natural geothermal jacuzzi in the rain. Some quick fun things about the Blue Lagoon. The water actually naturally cycles itself every 48 hours, in case you're worried about it being kind of gross. And the key thing in the water that gives it that really cool milky color is silica, which is actually supposed to have very good healing properties for your skin. Final review, we absolutely loved it. Like I said, it's Iceland's #1 attraction, so we were worried about it being a little bit touristy. But I don't know, maybe it's because we went early in the morning or because the bad weather kind of scared some people off, but it really wasn't that crowded, and the gray, rainy weather made it feel so cozy. In fact, when the sun started poking out at the end there, it actually didn't feel quite as special, but it was still amazing, of course. So if you're planning on going, I'd recommend going when it's raining or snowing and just let that 100-degree water kind of act as a blanket. It is very nice. Later in the evening, after settling into the hotel and maybe napping for a couple hours. We explored beautiful Reykjavik in the drizzly rain. Before getting there, I really didn't know what the city would be like, and my mom and I absolutely loved it. It was small and quaint, and honestly didn't even feel all that touristy because there were a ton of locals, at least it felt like there were. And we loved seeing the street art and just taking everything in. For dinner, we stopped in this restaurant that had warm, homey winter vibes. Of course, we had to try their local beer, but we also tried their lamb soup, which is really popular in Iceland, in a bread bowl, and just people watched. Admittedly, it wasn't quite like people watching here in Los Angeles, but we loved it nonetheless. Just walking around in Reykjavik. The water is over there. It is 10 p.m.? Yeah, I think it's like exactly 10. And it is still this bright out.
58, yeah.
Cool. I know, isn't that cool? Okay, official day 1. I guess you could say day 2, right? Day 2.
Yeah, day 2 for sure.
Day 2. And it is a blue, sunny sky with scattered clouds. And I like it. We are on the road again. So this is our first morning on the way to Mount, which is a mountain waterfall combination I've wanted to see for I don't know how long.
Taylor, can you multitask?
I'm trying. Oh, here we go.
You're going to go in the tunnel under that bay.
Yes.
Hope it doesn't leak.
Look at it. It looks like a Alaskan bullworm. It's a SpongeBob reference. This tunnel took us efficiently from this part of the island to this part. Sorry, I'm not even attempting to pronounce these things. I don't want to insult the 2 Icelandic people that might see this. But you know what? If you are Icelandic, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know. Big fan of your country. Anyway, after a while of driving, when we were supposed to take a left on the 54 here, we took a right on the 55 here. Kind of a long story, but had something to do with the 2004 GPS that came with the rental car, and maybe a little more to do with my laziness to not double check the route. Anyway, this little detour took us a little bit of extra time, but we were okay with it. As you can kind of see, we pretty quickly realized that a lot of this trip was about the journey and not the destination. And that's saying something because the destination, well, you'll see. Now we're in a tiny town about to grab some food and coffee and just like look at how cool. It's incredible. It really doesn't do justice on the camera, just how green and beautiful everything is. Here's my mom. Neither of us are having our best hair days. That's what the beanie's for.
Got a dopamine rush, got a major league crush when you're next to me. Got my heart upon my sleeve, can I hide the way I feel when you're next to me, girl? Got the kick in every move and I fought it's like a fool for you. Wish I knew just what it was, but why should I make a fuss?
I'd seen pictures of this place so many times, it was absolutely incredible to actually see in person. It also really reminded me of the talking wizard hat in Harry Potter, you know, but I suppose that's an unnecessary detail for the purposes of this video. But tell me you don't also see it. After this, we drove back to Reykjavik.
Turn left on Snæfellsnesvega.
Oh, easy for you to say.
Had some dinner and walked around. Kind of became a lovely little nightly routine.
11:30 at night in Reykjavik.
This cafe became our favorite spot. We returned pretty much every single morning. And remember how I said there was a possibility that I could still get work even though I was on the beach? Well, I did get some, unfortunately, but honestly, doing it right here in what became my favorite cafe, I wasn't too bothered. This is
And now?
It's about an hour and a half drive outside of Reykjavik. It's one of Iceland's most visited waterfalls, but for a very good reason. It was incredible. Super tall, you can walk all the way behind it. It was just really pretty. And if you continue walking about 15 minutes past this waterfall, you'll find this hidden sort of gem of a cave. Did we walk out of there dry? Absolutely not, but it was a highlight for me. After that, we headed down towards Vik to see the famous black sand beaches. First stop wasn't really a stop, we saw it on the side of the road and pulled over. This cute little, I guess, home thing in the side of the mountain. They used these back in the day to store hay. And by the smell of it, it seemed that some sheep had continued to make it their home, or at least their bathroom. And the famous black sand beaches. The puffins were actually a main attraction here. There were dozens of photographers with long-ass lenses trying to get a great shot of a puffin. But honestly, for me, the view and the crisp, clean air did it for me a little bit more than the puffins.
Oh, they're so cute.
My mom, on the other hand, told me she was not leaving Iceland unless she saw a puffin. But that's okay, because the word puffin was just making me laugh the whole entire trip. Puffin. It's a funny word. It's puffin season. The black sand was pretty incredible to see. I feel like I should come up with new words for this trip because everything was incredible, everything was breathtaking. But I will say it again, the fact that the whole island or the whole country is just covered in black volcanic remains, yet the greenest green, like neon green moss and grass is growing out of it somehow, and the contrast and the juxtaposition. Anyway, I'll try not to be too perfectly poetic about it, but it was really beautiful. And then probably the prettiest part, I would say, of the whole entire trip. On our way back to Reykjavik, we passed by during golden hour, I suppose. I mean, it stays light, relatively light at least, pretty much 24 hours a day during this time of the year. But even still, there was a little bit of a golden light shining on this waterfall, and I didn't even edit, I'm looking at it, I didn't even edit the color on that. That's what it looked like. Do you see that? The next morning, we were gifted another beautiful sunny day and decided to hit some of those main points on the Golden Circle. And the Golden Circle is kind of that famous route that a lot of people take when they visit Iceland. So our first stop was National Park and one of its waterfalls. And a little further down the Golden Circle was Iceland's most visited waterfall. This one I can actually pronounce. It's Gullfoss. Kind of hard to mess that one up. It was like a mini, well, not that mini. It was still huge, but kind of like a mini Niagara Falls, but with beautiful greenery coming out and only one rope like separating between you and the edge of the waterfall.
Make an exit to 35.
Okay. I'm the roundabout expert these
You want to go all the way around once?
No. Wow, I handled that with such ease and grace.
Are you proud of me?
On our way to the active volcano.
And after a long hike up that reminded me I should probably get in a little bit better shape, we made it here. You can see where the molten lava came pouring down these mountains not that long before, and even though the volcano wasn't actively erupting the day that we were there, it was still super cool to see.
And here we are at the top of the lava field. Pretty cool.
Fun fact, before this volcano became active again in March 2021, the last time it erupted was 800 years ago. Finally, we drove a little bit more around the peninsula to see some cool landmarks before finishing up our day again in Reykjavik.
This is the bridge between continents. This is North America. Over there is Europe, the European plate. Is that what it's called? European plate. So, let's go. Oh, Eurasian plate. Because it's Europe and Asia. Eurasian. Makes sense. Neat.
Overall, I think it is quite clear that this trip was really one to remember for me. Cannot wait to do another proper travel vlog, hopefully sometime soon. And please like this video. It took me a really long time to put together, but please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel a lot and I would appreciate it. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye. It's puffin season.